Two, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's Monday, the 25th of April. Welcome back. Hopefully everybody is doing well and enjoyed their day. Dude, what's up? What's up? What's up? Monday. Oh, we got the echo going. Can't do
that. What's going on, y'all?
Kind of quiet out there in the market today,
Live.
right? Let's let the team in.
Live from EYL headquarters. Shout out to everybody that was in Houston, Texas. Big vibes. Big vibes. Yeah, man. All love. Everybody that was there for the live Market Mondays show. Shout out to y'all, man. Always good energy every time we get to do something live. And that was just a legendary situation all across the board. I'm sure we'll talk about it today. But
we only accepting top floor Greenberg energy.
Oh, yeah.
Top floor H-Town energy. How y'all feeling?
What's going on?
Great,
man.
Are you not entertained?
Green, man.
Y'all want to bet
today?
Green for Greenberg. That was actually a coincidence. But,
that never happens. We never discuss what we're going to wear. Yeah. And we always have something different on. Like literally, even for Houston, like I never talked to him about what we was gonna wear. We actually ended up with the same like concept. I guess Mike kind of knew, but he didn't say anything to either of us. So it just happens like that. But today he walked in, I'm like, bro. And we just got these. Shout out to Ben. These colors just came out, the forest green hoodies.
Bam, thank you for my drop off. I appreciate it.
Yeah, care package is on the way.
Yes.
yes, man. But yeah, man. Long time no see.
I know. How you been? We should have hung out this weekend or something.
Hey, and you was outside. Like you was outside.
I'm campaigning. I'm trying to be. Well, listen, if Elon bought Twitter, I'm gonna start campaigning for president. I won't win, but
why not?
Time to get started.
Why not? But this is gonna be a very interesting show. A lot to talk about in the market. A lot to talk about in the world. Before we start, we definitely give a shout out to everybody in Houston, Texas. Very, very dope vibe. Shout out to Ashley, event planner. Shout out to the Hobby Center, all of the staff there. Shout out to everybody in the building, 2,600 people that came through.
Incredible.
Shout out to Chris Senegal, to Janet, to Slim Thugger. Shout out to MG, the mortgage guy was in the building. Shout out to Toby Wigway.
Shout out to Toby.
We had a classic last night.
Yeah, Toby. That's my brother, man. Shout out to Toby. Shout out to Mike Brown.
Yes.
The building.
Yes.
Shout out to the whole Red Panda family, Red Panda Nation.
Yeah. They was in there heavy. Shout out, Ian. Shout out to your pops who was out.
Pulled up on us, man. Yeah, I was legendary. Shout out, Ali.
Yes. Yup. Dope performance. If you've never made it to a live show, congratulations. You played yourself, man.
Here's your stamp.
It's one of these things every time we do it, whether it's Apollo, Houston. Don't miss the next one. I'm telling you, don't miss the next one, man.
Incredible vibe.
As I said, we'll probably have some time to talk about it later on, but amazing show. So thank you once again. Thank you to everybody that came out. It was one for the ages, one for the books. Everybody was talking about it all weekend. And thank you to everybody in Houston, man. All love.
Yeah. Shout out to the entire EYL family that pulled up. Shout out to all the earners that we got to speak to and we got to take pictures with. And some of the people who still would like, look, I didn't get to take the picture with you, but I had to be there. Shout out to the youngest earners. We had a little girl come up on stage. Her father had brought her. And shout out to the family. They had their 11-month-old in attendance. They were like, Troy, take the picture. I was like, should I take the baby or the picture? I didn't know what to do. So
I know.
So shout out to everybody, man. It's important to see 2,600 people in a beautiful, beautiful theater come together for financial literacy is humbling. We take great gratitude in knowing that we're a part of it. And we got plenty more coming, man. So shout out to everybody that was there. And if you missed it, like Shadi said, here's your stamp of approval. You played yourself.
Yeah, don't miss the next one. So big week for EYL. I'll just quickly do a rundown. Tomorrow, big episode. South by Southwest panel that we're releasing. Shout out to John Henry and shout out to my guy Buster Share. So that was a dope panel that we did at South by Southwest talking about Web 3.0, talking about crypto, talking about NFTs, talking about just, all the stuff. John Henry, Buster together. I actually moderated that panel. Super, super dope conversation, super high level conversation. Talk about venture capital, all that stuff. So NFTs, Web 3.0, crypto, venture capital, all that tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube channel and all podcast outlets. And then Wednesday is open enrollment.
You just kind of glossed over that. That was more than just an okay type of situation. It's very rare that I get to watch my brother work, but that was an incredible performance, man. He did an amazing job. He didn't just moderate it. Like, he put on a hell of a show. It was a great conversation. Shout out to that. Anytime John gets up there, it's going to be lightning.
That's fire.
And Buster killed it too. It was a great one. I'm saying it right now. This is a classic. So make sure y'all tune in.
And just give you a compliment. Even my guy Don was like, "Yo, Shawty killing it with the MC transition."
Appreciate that.
I don't know what media training you been.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that, brother. Appreciate the compliment on that. Just trying to do my 1-2 thing. That's it. Keep the show moving. MC. That's it. Master of ceremony. So yeah, that's tomorrow. And then Wednesday, we got open enrollment on YouTube, 8 o'clock. Jatalia. So Jatalia, I don't know why. Jatalia. She super, super dope. Somebody that I met a couple years ago, and she's just been a great resource. She has taught for EYL University. So she's a Black woman, originally from London, lives in the States, and she actually has a crypto hedge fund, and she's actually killing it. I think her hedge fund was rated one of the top 5.
Number 4.
From what publication?
I believe it was in Yahoo Finance, but I'll double check.
Yeah. Well, long story short,
she's incredible.
She'll be doing a crypto masterclass for us on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So if you're interested in learning about cryptocurrency, check it out. Yeah. We haven't talked about crypto in a while, so that's a perfect time. And anytime that she gets to speak, it's a masterclass.
Yeah. And she's so diverse too. Like, she's done stuff for EYL University, from investing in Africa and an entry course into investing. So anytime she comes on our platform, earners, y'all already know. So YouTube, y'all gonna be in a tree. It's gonna be incredible.
Yeah. All right. And then anything else?
Assets over liabilities. You kidding me? What are you talking about?
Shout out to our Revolt family. Shout out to Jada Waiter. She's a legend. Super, super dope. Killing the game. I think she's like 22, something like that.
23, man.
23 years old.
23
years old, man. And really, took social media and really turned it into an empire. 7 million followers on Instagram, but more importantly, an entrepreneur and a businesswoman and just a good person. So she broke down her whole business on how she sold hair, she sold merch, she leveraged her personality to build a social media empire. Assets over liabilities, that's on the TV channel, Revolt's TV channel tonight. And then Wednesday at 5 o'clock, it's on Revolt's YouTube channel. So once again, shout out to Jada, shout out to the Revolt family. Nonstop bombs.
Shout out to the white denim. AZ vibe. Boy, I was like, everything is, I'm learning. Personality, wardrobe, boy.
That's a fact.
Shout out to the wardrobe budget.
So inspired, man. There you have it.
That's a lot. She's incredible though.
Yeah.
You want me?
You do disclaimer, and then I'll do announcements.
No problem. So, earners, the Red Panda family, we want to let you know about a great choice if you're looking to bank or invest. Shout out to our people over at Ally. Ally is the leading digital financial service company with passionate customer service, innovative financial solutions, and our relentlessly focus on doing it right for both customers and our communities. Get with Ally so you can save, invest, and spend on all the things that matter most to you. For everything we need, we're all better off within Ally. Shout out to our people at Ally and United Masters. Shout out to our team.
And let me say this. You will be added to the stock club, but you won't be added today. So this is the process. We actually have to get the emails. We didn't get it's through Ticketmaster. Ticketmaster has to send us the emails, and then Ian will get the emails. It's 2,600 people, so it's like a lot of emails. Sort it out. So wait, just give it a 2-week wait time, please. We said it at the show, but we'll say it again. 2-week wait time. And you'll be good.
Yeah, and shout out to some people. I know somebody had DM me about, they were on house arrest, so they couldn't make it to the show, but they were from Indiana, and so 2 weeks. I DM.
Oh, I'm gonna take care of you.
Yeah. I got it. I'll send you his DM as well. So don't worry. 2 weeks. Give it some time. Once we get the emails, everything will be in motion.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, real quick, Ian, before you go, do your own research. And shout out to the young lady who had her own clothing brand called
Big
Do Your Own
facts.
Dior, right? Do your own research. Our content is intended to be used and must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. People, continue to do your research, share your research, build with each other, and that's how we grow. And real quick, before, shout out to the book club yesterday. We had Market Mondays alumni as the guest. So shout out to Rachel Bashotti. She came through and blessed us. So Gene, shout out to you for hosting that. Heard it was incredible. I mean, I wouldn't expect any less. Rachel was incredible. So shout out to everybody that was in the book club yesterday.
There you have it, Ian.
For any of the 2,900 people I met over this weekend, if I owe you an email, give me 5 or 6 days to get caught up. So you'll have to do the show and prepare. I love you. I haven't forgot about you. To everyone who were in the top 2 rows, I'm going to make sure that you guys get access. As soon as I get the emails, we'll figure out who was in the top 2 rows, but you guys will be getting Stock Club for life. I love the energy. Enthusiasm does matter and does have an impact on how much money you make and how well you execute. So I want to reward you for being the livest audience I've heard ever. Stock Club call is at 9:30. So for all you Stock Club members, please bring the top 2 questions you want me to answer for you. And everyone who was at the show, my friends, family, thank you for the support. All of Red Panda, everybody in Dream Team, my dad, all the earners, you guys, Mike, Bam, Jamal, MG, Danielle, Tony, like, had a blast. I wish we could have had more time to kick it. Shotty, kudos to you for making it through that H-Town heat.
That was hot.
My
man.
boy looked like he was sick again. I'm like, I told you.
Yeah, good luck finding a picture of him standing.
It was training.
Yeah, it was tough. And you had on the Versace silk. So yeah, everybody I had a chance to meet in Houston. I appreciate you, everyone. We had a chance to meet at the brunch. I appreciate you. And once again, shout out to my guy, Ali. I appreciate you for coming and blessing the venue. And Ashley, sorry for always giving you a headache at these shows. Kanye, East Chicago. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, wait, we ain't shout out Abdullah. Shout out to Abdullah.
Oh yeah, shout out to my guy.
Can we shout this? I mean, y'all already know what we think of him, but he makes sure that everything is on point and that we get to and from where we need to get to. He's incredible. He finally got his watch of his dreams this weekend. So shout out to him, man. He is a big part of everything that we do. So yeah, shout out to Yogi, man. That's my guy.
Shout out to Abdullah. Shout out to Smitty also.
Smith Dog, what up?
All right, let's get into this. Elon Musk reported about this last week when he made the offer public, and it was news, trending topic. I think Twitter, they said that they wasn't interested. A lot of people said like he wasn't serious.
Poison pilled him.
They said that he was just doing this just for controversy, or he was doing this just to start a bidding war. And lo and behold, deal's done.
No bids. Yeah,
deal's done. Deal is done. $54.20 a share. Deal done. From my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, he will be the stock will be taken off of the stock market. It will now be a private company.
Correct.
Owned 100% by Elon Musk.
Yep.
All the shareholders, they stopped trading today.
They suspended it and then they activated it again.
They activated at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Well, the shareholders will be bought out at the $54.20 share price.
Yep.
All right. Who wants to start?
It's a lot. I mean, it's interesting because again, last week when the news came out that he had put the offer in, it was, the board was the issue at the time. And so when I read the report today, to hear that the board unanimously voted to have him take sole ownership, it just goes to show you sometimes, like when we read the news, we're way behind. This thing has already happened, right? We're just getting the final details. And so think about this. The first time we heard about him actually being interested in owning Twitter was April 2nd. And so at the time, Twitter was trading at $39.31. Since that point, the stock has increased by 38% just on the news that he might be involved. And so the people who had, like, let's say that they were looking at Twitter as an investment at 29, at $39. Now automatically if they bought shares there, they're getting bought out at 54. So you're making about $15 a share. If you got a lot of shares, that's a great buy. So it's interesting, man. Like we saw him make news about what he wanted to do with Twitter. We heard him talking about it. We know what he's able to do when he manipulates. Well, I shouldn't use the word manipulates. When he speaks
This is influence.
and when he influences certain, especially in the crypto space. And so now that he has a platform, and I know Ian, you spoke about this Saturday night, the pros and cons of the richest man in the world now having one of the top 5 social media platforms. It's an interesting formula. It's a very interesting formula.
Money to get power, power to keep control of your money. From a standpoint of an entrepreneur, this is one of the greatest robberies I've ever seen in history. Very interesting that after he made his bid and his offer, and they told him, we're going to do the poison pill, which apparently there wasn't enough poison in the pill to kill the deal, right?
Yeah, what kind of pill is it?
And I want to tell you, write this down. The news is not meant to tell you the truth. The news is meant to sell you advertising. That era of incredible transparency, hard-hitting journalism, that hasn't been here for like 25 years. So they're never going to tell you the truth. The truth was no other company on earth, when they sent the email out, even replied to the email to bid for Twitter. What does that tell you about the value of the deal? Secondly, my dad was just here, just left for the airport a second ago. He was like, if they got this deal done in 20 days, that should tell you how bad the economy is. Normally, an acquisition of this size would take months. This board, if you are a fan of the show, I'm a fan of you, but you guys should have been fired long ago. That's one of the worst boards I've ever seen. I don't know how you let a media property that generates $5 billion in advertising not make any significant improvements in 5 or 6 years. Now, also, Jack and Elon are friends. So well played. If I run Rockefeller, Troy Rashad run Interscope, and I walk away, and Jamal takes my seat, leisure's been earned. Great job by Jack to walk away, and then let your friend come by it. And now all the ideas that Jack had that the board wouldn't let him do the last 5 years, he gets included in. I want to ask you guys in chat, who are the top 5 people you think he's going to let back on the platform? I'll leave it at that. I told you Saturday. Oh, and then, they probably go on a little social media acquisition spree.
What else is there? What else is there to buy though? I feel like in
Truth
social media.
Social.
Huh?
Truth Social.
Truth Social? But that's a
Everybody,
company?
yeah. Ryan Bahu.
Oh, Truth?
Yep.
That's a new one?
I'll leave it at that. We go to
I put it in the chat.
Hey.
Oh, Trump? That's Trump thing?
But he was supposed to go into a SPAC deal with somebody, and I guess it's on hold for now. But yeah, that guy's trying to create social media.
Oh, baby.
So
but maybe he comes back to this one right now.
I think they're gonna let Trump back. They're gonna let Trump back on Twitter. The crazy thing is that
I will let my friend back on too.
Let my friends on.
Yeah, let the gang back.
You want me to
free all the guys?
I'll read Elon's statement, and then you want to. Yeah. So his statement was: free speech is the bedrock of a functioning democracy, and Twitter is the digital town square. Key words: town square, where matters vital to the future of humanity are debated. All right. I also want to make Twitter better than ever by enhancing the product with new features, making the algorithms open source to increase trust, defeating the spam bots, and authenticating all humans. Twitter has tremendous
That's a great idea, though.
Twitter has tremendous potential. I look forward to working with the company and community to help the users unlock all its potential. That was his full statement.
Hot take. If Elon in the next year lets the algos run to open source, how he says, and they authenticate people, this is going to be the death blow for Facebook. Because one of the things that made Facebook great in the beginning is verification of users. If they get all the trolls, so ICE, I'm sorry, you won't be able to troll as much on them other, then y'all will burn their accounts. You won't be able to troll as much. But if they authenticate these users to advertisers, it will have more dollars per user, a cleaner platform. And now, I told you guys last year, only places to buy Dogecoin is at 5 cents and 11 cents. Doge spiked a little bit because of the announcement. If you don't think he's not going to pump that on there, it's going to be a nice little rise there. So this could be the final nail in the coffin that leads to the ultimate demise of Facebook. Because let's be honest, people all been telling me no for the last year. Who do you guys like more, Elon or Zuckerberg? He knows what his value is worth. For every asset that he has endorsed or mentioned, the value of them has went up at least 52%.
Mm-hmm.
So
well played.
Yeah, I mean, he has free reign as well now, right? Like, if he wants to pump something, like, what's to stop him? It's gonna be. But I also think something is very interesting: the timing of the deal, right? So you mentioned that like 20 days was that, which is incredible. Like, how does that happen in 20 days? Obviously, something must have been transpiring earlier in the year or pretty months before that. But this Thursday, Twitter is going to be reporting its earnings, right? And so think about the timing of that. That tells you that, number one, okay, they sold the company right before they're going to report their second quarter earnings. Their first quarter earnings is like, all right, well, this earnings report probably is going to come in pretty shabby, right? There's going to be some tough losses coming in, and which is why we're like, all right, let's get rid of this now before we get any more bleeding. Because the offer was pretty generous. He went 38% over what the stock price was on April 1st.
Yeah.
So imagine if they pull back down. It's like, all right, well, it's not going to the $44 billion offer. He's probably looking at it like, hey, nah, I just saw what you just did. Here's my new offer.
I think it's important to have a broad range conversation too before we exit this Twitter talk, because I feel like, Elon Musk, definitely it makes sense for him to buy Twitter. He definitely is one of the most powerful people in media now that he owns Twitter, which is one of the largest social media sites. And it's important to note that the only social media site of its size that will be owned by one person. So that's important.
Absolutely.
Because he could really run it as a dictator. He can really do whatever he wants. So, that's not normal. Instagram is owned by Facebook, which is a publicly traded company. LinkedIn is owned by Microsoft, which is a publicly traded company. Snapchat is a publicly traded company.
TikTok
Binance
owns it.
Is owned by, who owns TikTok
in
America? In America, the American, they're owned by a publicly traded company. So Elon's in a good position right now to have Twitter, which is a top 5 company that he owns 100%. And he just was mocking Twitter 2 days ago about being shadow banned and all of that. And then, he's talking about Bill Gates. So, money talks. Money talks in this world. But for anybody that's interested, when these things happen, as we said, the shareholders, they will be bought out. So they will still receive compensation for the price that is purchased at.
Did you get those questions today? Like, should we buy Twitter right now?
Well, that's why I'm answering it. So that's what happens with that. And then a reason why a company would go, because most of the time you hear about private companies going public. And the reason why it doesn't really happen that often, but the reason why a public company would go private is, if you look at Twitter stock, it really hasn't done anything for a decade. And they're in trouble, and they'll probably continue to, kind of lose money. So, the board should be doing what's in the best interest of the shareholders. That's what they have to do. That's what their whole thing is. So it's like, all right, if we can make some money for the shareholders and sell it at, a peak value.
Good golden parachute to stop a revolt, for sure.
What you say?
It's a good golden parachute to stop a revolt.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then all those people that own Twitter shares, they'll make money. Jack Dorsey, this is interesting because he stepped down from Twitter to focus on Block. So he obviously saw he wasn't really interested in Twitter anymore. He still owns a lot of Twitter stock. So now he's going to get paid a bunch of money. Him and Elon are already business partners. He'll probably have a role in a new
very
Twitter.
Pivotal role. I'll go on record and say that.
Yeah,
very
he'll probably
pivotal, which will help Block.
Yeah. So, there's always more than meets the eye, but this was a very impressive move that was done very quickly. Very, very quickly. Elon said he wasn't budging off of his number. He wrote them. He said, if you don't accept this number, it's not going to be there anymore. And he didn't budge off the number.
Yeah.
But it's a great negotiate. Go ahead, Troy.
No, I was going to say, he said it's his best and final offer. And
but when you have no one else bidding, listen, if I want to buy this brush for 2 cents and no one else is putting a bid on it, you got to sell. and this is like the board mismanaged Twitter. If they ran this correctly, there should have been no room for growth of Snapchat or the emergence of TikTok. This is what, and we've seen it with NBA teams. Like you have the right talent, but management won't care enough because they're selling enough tickets. My New York fans would get it.
Shout out to the Knicks. I know
Could have
it's where
gone
you were
further,
going.
but you got to move. And Jack couldn't do what he needed to do because there was so many people on the board that didn't believe in his vision. But now, if you take it private and you can run it the way that you want to, now those watch the changes in Twitter in 1 year are going to surpass anything they did the last 9 years, for sure. And a big personality, even though it's been a while, by having media or owning a media company, even though it wasn't social, Ted Turner owned Turner and CNN. So it's not unusual. Bezos owns Washington Post, but that's why I say when you get to another tier of wealth, the money is just secondary at that point. To be able to control and even create narrative internationally is very key for brand.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. That's important, right? Because if you look at some of the wealthiest people, they all try to figure out how to have a platform where they can get their narrative out or get their message out. And so when you talk about Zuckerberg and you talk about Bill Gates and now Elon's looking like Jeff Bezos, like what's the next thing? All right, well now I have my piece in the game now. So it's gonna be interesting to see.
Buffett's deep relationship with CNBC and NBC. He's probably the only talent that can just get a 3-hour block on CNBC. Like before Trump ran for president, he was on Fox Business for years, every week.
Yep.
Those media partnerships are very key. And if you want to see an emerging media empire, please tune in to Assets Over Liabilities and this amazing interview they have coming this week. But kudos to Elon. I have to give it to him. Now, the other stuff that I told you guys prior to, please listen. It's going to happen. But kudos to Elon as an entrepreneur. Well played.
Well played. 6,300 people on YouTube. Hit the like button. This is going to be a big show. Okay, Morgan Stanley thinks that the S&P 500 is headed towards a bear market. So stock market was actually up today, but the S&P is still down from its 52-week high. Its 52-week high was 4,800 and is currently right below 4,300. So how do we feel about this prediction of a bear market coming?
Goes into what we've been saying, and we haven't seen the worst of it yet. I think I was in a car with Dom dropping him off, and I think it was Guy Dami on CNBC. If you guys saw the interview earlier, you can put it if it was him or not. But he said this cycle going into a presidential season is actually one of the worst quarters. So the NASDAQ, when I did my estimation, I said to Saturday, we'll get to about negative 21%. The Dow has not fallen as much as it should yet. To know when the market is going to turn around, please keep your eyes on the London market because Europe is going to get hit a lot harder. So look at the FTSE, look at CAC. When they start to uptick, that's when you know like the bear market is going to end. Because so if Europe has a worse recession than us, we'll go up before they do. But to know when it's over, when the FTSE and the CAC begins to uptick and stays above that recession level, that's when we know we're in the clear. So until the Dow falls, we're not done completely. We were up today, but Mondays and Fridays, the market has the highest probability of going up. If we go up Tuesday and Wednesday, that'd be a very great sign, but more than likely we're not. We're probably going to fall tomorrow. So for those of you who are looking for shorts, look for your setup. You can look to short more than likely tomorrow. And most of the reason, a small influence, was this news with Elon. Let's say Tuesday and Wednesday, there won't be as much good news. The real test for how bad the bear market will be is Apple and Microsoft earnings. We'll talk about it later. If those numbers are not great, which they will be, and if the stock does not move up aggressively, or let's say they even have great numbers and we tank down, Apple and Microsoft are the ones to keep your eyes on because they are the two most important stocks in the country. So Apple, Microsoft, Google third. Keep your eyes on those to see how the sentiment is because all the hedge funds already know. They're just waiting for everything to play out, but everything's already been priced in. So keep your eyes on that.
Yeah, that's interesting because I just heard Josh Brown had said that it might have been this morning, and he was talking about look, Microsoft and Apple have really blinded us from what's really happening. Right, if they ever had a major pullback, we would see the economy fully be in a recession, right? Like, or fully be into a bear market, or I should say. The NASDAQ itself is already in a bear market. So when we talk about down 20%, and this is the third week in a row, and I'm like, yeah, we're big on tech, but again, we got to find our right spots. So we got to be mindful of that. And one of the things that, and I've pretty much seen the consensus around is like, well, where should we go? Because usually they'll talk about a sector rotation, but like, well, what's the rotation now? Because no one can see where the next rotation is going to be, except the guy with the except the guy with the crystal ball. So I've been reading articles. I've been seeing people saying pharma and biotech, but those have taken a beat. Like biotech is taking a huge beating over the past 12 months. And so, you know, to not really have the trust in that sector is like, I can understand why people would, but you know, we just keep your eye on those two areas, pharma and biotech now, because that seems to be the consensus of what people are saying. If the S&P does pull back, and it won't be just one or two companies, they're saying like every company is going to pull back at the same time, and that's 500 companies. So obviously that's pretty much the U.S. economy. Look at those two sectors to be a place where you could probably find something with not as much of a downside.
And I want to remind everyone, sector rotation is for institutional traders or companies that takes capital from clients and have to deploy or put it to use.
Mm-hmm.
So when Frederick has been on Stock Club Call, shout out to Frederick. Dave has been on. These are all people that worked at BlackRock, like the biggest funds on earth. Both of them said the same thing. The number one advantage retail investors have is to be able to hold longer than a hedge fund. So you don't have to change sector by sector, quarter by quarter, or even strategy by strategy. The longer you hold quality, that is like for those of you who are like, I love what GameStop did, AMC did, and took over the institutions. You can do that if you just hold. But most of us don't. And the information that CNBC, Bloomberg is reporting is not really for retail investors. This edge for institutional fund-to-fund type investors. So if you hold on, you don't have to focus on sector rotation. Now, the truth is, most of the companies right now that are publicly traded are terrible. And I told you when we first did it, quantitative easing, once that went away. And I told you guys the only flaw in 2 Tech 2 Index is if inflation got over 19%. We're not there yet. If we get to 19, you're going to see me sweat a little bit. We haven't seen the work. This is barely a hard pullback. This is nothing in comparison to 2016, August 24, 2015. And I'll drop a gem on you guys who weren't there. I wish you guys were there. But learn how to trade the FTSE, German DAX, Japanese Nikkei. So even if the rotation happens by country, you still have to be able to produce money. All countries and economies will not be down. So you have to be able to produce alpha or gain somewhere. So if you know how to trade every index, and go back to episode 70, I gave you guys the entire blueprint there. Be able to trade every index on earth, you won't lose money, especially on the future side. Those of you that are trading, or if you're doing options and doing puts, you should be making money hand over fist because we have a clear direction. Quantitative easing is away. We have more fear than ever. Institutions are afraid. There's not as much capital being put out. Angels, investors are investing less.
Mm-hmm.
Secondary rounds are different. Seed rounds are not different.
Yeah, the volume of trading is going down.
Yeah, it's easy. We have more shorts and more downside pressure. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, another one is agriculture, another sector. Just to keep your eye on. Like, I'm not sure if anybody's paying attention, but China, you know, they're battling the COVID virus right now, and there's plenty of lockdowns, and it's headed toward Beijing, which is obviously a major city. So yeah, there's, you know, their lockdowns a lot different from ours. A little bit more. I shouldn't even say a little bit. A lot more control, where you're not allowed to leave your residence, and so the people are not able to get to food and not able to go outside to shop for food. These are some of the things we got to take into account when we're talking about, all right, well, if that's a shortage, then obviously there's going to have to be somebody that fulfills that shortage. So agriculture might be one of those things to look at as well.
And to tie into that, you guys need to look into any food manufacturers that has little to no debt, because even with the water disparity that's happening and the water shortage, the food shortage is going to get bad. And if you guys have been doing your research, you've seen what's happened in food manufacturing over the last 6 or 7 weeks. There is a big event happening in that space. I'll say that and leave it there. Kudos to my guy who sent me that article. Please go look. and research what has happened in the food space. So if you can find a good one, there may be a lot less competition, which will drive up prices and make that stock as a result more valuable. So I want you guys to take the emotion out of it. Look at the data. If the market is clearly down, if you're a trader, add to your positions. Don't hold them for long. Obey your targets. Do not deviate. Patience pays. So you may only get 4 amazing trades, but those 4 amazing trades may pay you what 12 last year would have paid you. And if you are truly an investor and you can go both directions, I'm not going to do a Charles Barkley, I promise you. But if you guys can go both directions, you should make a killing. When a man banged you, I was like, Charles, what you do, boy?
Nah, he went too far.
He went too crazy.
Hey,
right?
you saw the first person that laughed was Kenny Smith, right?
Facts.
New York City, man.
Yes. I saw Charlamagne post when we grew up. I'm like, no, never.
No, we never go. No, we're not. We're not going.
Never.
We're not going to.
Oh, and also soybean. If you guys can, homework right now. Quiz question: what is a company or a ticker that will allow you to invest in soybeans? That soybean future has been going up like crazy. So when certain commodities go up, that's why I say, like, the one thing that Kramer said that is always true: there is a bull market somewhere. Soybean has been going up like crazy. There are a couple other commodities that have been taken off during this recession. That is definitely one of them.
The market still pays those who are patient.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about this. Netflix. We talked about this on the show on Saturday, but we didn't get a chance to talk about it last week because it happened after the show, after last Monday. But Netflix fell apart, down 37% since January. Thing one day last week it was down $125 for the day. Bad report as far as people leaving. What's the numbers?
It was 500,000 they reported. They lost 500,000 subscribers.
Negative growth.
Yeah, first time in over 10 years that they had a negative subscriber growth.
All right, so let's talk about Disney, Roku, but first let's talk about Netflix. Is Netflix officially dead? You know, Netflix is one of the 2 companies that Mark Cuban said he owned. When Mark Cuban was on Market Mondays,
Gotta give my guy a call.
Yeah, he said he owned two stocks and 2 indexes. The indexes was, I think, the S&P and the Russell 2000. And he said the stocks that he owned was Netflix and was it Microsoft?
I think it's Amazon.
Yeah. Well,
you want to do what Bill Ackman did and cut. Listen, let's give Bill credit.
Ooh, lost 400.
It's a good lesson though. When you have a loss that is that considerable, you may wait and pray that it'll go up, but you have to cut your losses and just take the haircut and be like, okay, I won't make the mistake again. He just invested at the wrong time. That goes back to having to deploy capital. Had to put the money to work. He took the loss. Now, I mean, I wanted the price that I said that we were going to fall to. Kudos to you to execute and make money on it. Netflix is at what, 209 now? I mean, they may clip 180. I don't like Netflix at all. I think Roku is going to be in trouble. They won't hemorrhage as much money, but that entire space, and I talked about it Saturday. I won't tell too much to everyone who was there, but a formula that I try to stay away from is a business that has high debt and a low subscription or low product price model. So if you have, I mean, Troy said it, they're paying $30 million a show for Stranger Things. Great show, not worth 30 a show.
Mm-mm.
And okay, I want you guys to do this. For $240 million, how many subscriptions at $9 do you have to sell to break even? That risk to reward ratio goes in every business decision. That's why I say it's the ultimate indicator.
Yeah.
So if I'm putting $1 in, worst case scenario, I need to get 5 back. But if you're running negative, they have a negative risk to reward model. And here's the funny thing. I was reading a report. They said for any decision underneath, for everyone in corporate, listen up, for every decision underneath $10 million, they did not have to report it to anybody in the C-suite. I said, damn, this is corporate death row. You can do whatever the hell you wanted to. You can greenlight anything for less than 10 million. You don't think that they were having their friends and PAs and grips coming and just helping their friends make all this money? Now, even with House of Cards, as great of a show as it was, you have one risk, Kevin Spacey, which he's been trouble forever. Now you can't even have that show. You cannot have exorbitant costs and sell at a low price and have high debt. This is the same thing that killed Blockbuster. And isn't it ironic going into this next recession, the same thing that killed their competitor is going to end up killing them. Netflix is dead.
The signal has been going out.
Yeah.
Netflix, they're in trouble. Shout out to YouTube, 7,100 people.
Yeah.
Hit the like button, share. Netflix is definitely in trouble. And it's so crazy because before we had Earn Your Leisure, I used to do these posts on social media where it was like kind of like mini articles. And one of the articles that I had was could Amazon be the death of Netflix? And that's when
from a streaming standpoint.
in the Amazon Prime situation. But we also doing Disney, because that's when Disney had first announced that they was going to have this streaming. They have competition issues. They have people stealing, piracy issues. They have, like Ian said, low profit margins, high debt, very competitive space. They have a number of things that are working against them. And they're still the biggest in the space
for now.
But I'm saying now they're still the biggest in the space, but it's an uphill battle. Looks like they're up. They're they've been counted out before. But
I've been saying from day one, there isn't any business, Sears, Kmart, Venture, Toys R Us. There is no, and please write this down. A sign of a recession, anytime you see 40 companies go out of business because of bankruptcy, that is a signal. So I never worry about the big companies because they'll find ways to find capital, right? I worried about the small places, Pier 1, Bed Bath & Beyond. When Best Buy was on the ropes and they made a hell of a recovery. You have to look at those companies and see how well they're doing, because the top 5 companies are always going to be great, top 15. I'm looking at 80 through 200 and see how well they're doing.
Yeah.
They've been counted out before, but they haven't had this level of debt. Even when we were riding back Saturday in Houston, the streets are a lot lighter than they used to be. A lot lighter. People are spending a lot less. PPP dried up. I won't go into my little conspiracy theory about Wells Fargo and how they help fund the credit card scam industry. There's a lot less of that going on too, though.
So the mayor did, right? Yeah.
So money is drier. I like Netflix if it gets to $99.22 or $70.19. I'll sell everything, get it at $70. But anything above $149 would not touch. Dead man walking.
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out how to expand. I mean, they got to figure out how to generate revenue. And so one of the things we spoke about this over the summer, they announced that licensing deal with Walmart, where they're gonna put some of the licensing from their shows, but they don't have enough original content where it could be sustainable. And so that demographic that they're trying to reach with Stranger Things is already taken, right? Like Disney owns the youth, YouTube owns the youth. Like we talk about that all the time. And I think we had this conversation, right? If we're talking about streaming and we're talking about services, the one who set up the best is really Google, because they don't pay anything for content. People put content on their platform every day for free.
Here's the thing with Google.
Let me just finish this. So they put it on there for free, and they're gonna have content continuously every single day of every year, right? And so if you take that compared to a company that has to buy content, let alone they're going to be in debt for that, let alone they have to spread internationally, which is also going to cost them. They have to have the infrastructure to be an international presence. They haven't done that yet, right? And so the revenue from, let's say, you're paying $30 million to have per episode for a season, you're talking about $300 million. Yeah, you might be able to sell some merchandise for that, but nobody's buying Better Call Saul merchandise.
Facts.
Nobody's buying Narcos t-shirts. Like, it's not happening.
Well, here's some information about Google. YouTube will be moving heavily into podcast space.
That's a fact.
Heavily.
Yeah, I told you guys that 4 weeks ago. Can I be real?
So,
shout out to my people at Google. This is why culture is important. All they did was take that PIF model and made all of us mixtape rappers.
Well, yeah, that, and then once they get heavily into podcast space, now they really have no competition if you think about it, because Apple is the leader in podcasting in America, but they have competition. There's a bunch of other audio podcasts. Spotify being the other biggest, but then there's like Podbean, there's Sketcher, there's all kinds of different stuff.
Yeah.
From a visual standpoint, they tried to take that, but it didn't work out as far as with Spotify. But really, when you look at a visual, which a lot of people watch podcasts visually, they don't even listen to podcasts. YouTube is already. They have no competition in the space. So once they really start to really pile more money into the podcast space, they're already in a unique advantage to really, corner the market.
Yeah, and which demographic don't they control? They get a new subscriber every day, and a lot of times they're young. Kids are on YouTube. Our kids, like we know, our kids don't watch. They don't have a favorite show that's on traditional TV. Yeah. Their shows and their influences are coming from YouTube, so their audience is already built in. And I told you, when you have children, right? Either you're gonna have them watching Disney, or you're gonna have them watching on YouTube, watching the ABCs or something like that on YouTube, right? So it makes sense. Like their demographic is already built in. They're gonna get a newer, younger audience every single day. How do you compete with that when you have to pay for content and try to attract an audience? It's a completely different model.
And look at all the people from the music business that were executives that Dane would call vultures that they then acquired. Now, because they know since culturally we like to be seen opposed to being paid, they are going to be the biggest, and I can argue now they already are. They are the biggest record label in the world. And if you think Spotify doesn't pay anything, YouTube pays even less. And when now you're the only platform that really matters, watch how much they're going to take, and then it's only going to help their business even more.
Yeah, I mean, what's their biggest expense besides infrastructure within? As far as when we talk about YouTube,
maybe talent, but other than infrastructure and actually equipment,
right?
Think about the risk. Everyone else is uploading the content for them. As like, imagine if Def Jam got, shout out to my Def Jam family, 200,000 people a day to put up content, and they just said, "Hey, pay me whenever you want, whatever rate you feel."
Or how about you guys tell me what's hot?
It is there's no capital expenditure on the outfront for them. That's why I always say business model matters and even for me personally, I know some people don't like premium. Man, I feel you. But Netflix, any low profit margin or low price business is the most ripe for disruption. And on top of that, they end up going bankrupt a lot faster. All the quality companies that you guys love are premium brands. Name them. No one ever be like, yo, I love Payless. Like all the Balenciagas look like old Skechers. But somehow when Balenciaga on them, they mean, and it's worth more. We are entering an era where low price businesses and mid-tier businesses are going to fall apart. And I would not even be surprised if Google and Apple acquires a couple of these other smaller podcast players. And I wouldn't even be surprised if Google or Walmart pushes to acquire Netflix too.
Mm-hmm.
Dead man
you know
walking.
why? They got an economic moat.
Yep.
All pun intended. Shout out to everybody that was in attendance Saturday.
MVP. Listen, I wish you can get out tonight.
We can't. Some things are just left to be seen in person.
Let's talk about Disney.
They're
under attack.
Yes.
Governor of Florida.
Ron DeSantis.
Yes. What's the future of Disney? You like Disney.
I love Disney.
What's the future?
Well, what's happening now?
Stock has underperformed.
It definitely has. But that's how big of a player that Netflix is in its space. And so when the number one player in the space takes an attack like this, you can see the effect that it's had on Disney. You can see the effect that it's had on Roku. All these streaming services are gonna be affected by, what we saw happen with Netflix. But the other issue with DeSantis is it's an interesting issue, and it feels like this is what happens when somebody that is in power has the power to retaliate against something that they didn't approve of. And so they had the don't say gay issue in Florida, and Disney didn't really respond. And then they responded, and it wasn't in the favor that he liked. And so he decided to change some things that were put in place in the 1960s. And so Disney had been given land to build their resort on. I think it was called, is it Reedy Creek in 1967? Reedy Creek, right? So the Florida legislature said that Disney could develop an infrastructure for Walt Disney World at no cost to taxpayers. So that was the initial rule. He actually just changed that rule to now where they're going to have to, so literally they could build on a piece of land with really out any county restrictions. So whatever they wanted to build, they had the ability to. And obviously, as they built, there was a tax write-off because it was a company expense. Now that he's reversed this bill, yeah, it sounds all right. We're going to attack Disney, and they're going to have to, cut into some of their profits. But what it does really for the people who actually live in that surrounding area, their tax bills are going to have to go up because we have to offset this somehow. And so they had some economists actually calculate it, and they're saying like literally the tax increase could be 20 to 25% if there's no change. And so that's obviously affects Disney's bottom line, but it affects the residents of Florida who live in that surrounding area, which is like, I mean, I get what you're trying to do to a company, but you're affecting the residents of your state. And so it's interesting, man. Politics is a dirty game, and it's an interesting game because they're saying that he might be the front runner for the GOP at this point.
Bill.
Yeah,
Big Donnie.
Yeah. Why not? It's a
I'm
swing
back.
state.
Yeah,
it's a swing state that's very important. So it would make sense that he would be at least considered for the next Republican presidential nominee. Disney stock over the course of the year, last 52 weeks, went from $84 to currently $120.
Mhm.
Going back to 80.
So what'd you say? It says going back to 180?
No, it's going back to $80.
80?
80.
Why is it going back to 80?
That crystal ball. Inflation, geopolitical concerns, no economic moat. Capital expenditures are too high, recurring debt cycles with the real estate too high, profit margins not like if people just go through the reports. So if I look at a report, the only thing I want to look at is gross revenue and net profit, and what is their ratio. Tune in the assets of a liability. If you look at what assets they have under management, every company is a hedge fund. Some companies just burn through more capital than others. Here's a novel idea. The companies that make money and keep the most in-house, their stock should go up the most. That's why I told you 2020, man, the bad companies, Tony Kukoc could have got MVP in 2020. It was Balco. Everybody was hitting 80 home runs. Now we have to see, okay, now we playing hard ball. No easy fouls, no free throws. You either get a buck. Now it's prison ball in the market. You have to actually put up results to get great games.
Yeah.
Now you get to see who actually can produce. And that's why I don't like companies that have a hell of a lot of debt. There is no company that has went bankrupt having zero debt and high profit margins. It's a whole graveyard full of companies that have been taken over, which what Elon is doing is a move out of Carl Icahn's book. Brilliant. Much nicer version, right? But it's a huge mistake to continue to think that businesses that have underperformed for the last 5 years and have been kept afloat because of quantitative easing are now good ones to invest in. Our stock club, adjusted for current inflation. If you go back to the last 10 years, and I told you guys this, I think episode 8 or episode 10, when we first started doing the show, most of NASDAQ would not be as high if it was not for quantitative easing in Barack Obama. We talked about it before. Rashad brought it up. Man, before quantitative easing, NASDAQ was dead for 10 years. A lot of it had to do with Microsoft and Ballmer. Because if the star of that sector is not producing, and then Steve was the Elon of that time, if Microsoft can't stay afloat, nothing else in the space is valuable. And then that's why you had a changing of the guard. Tim Cook, more mellow, more analytical. That's why the faces, and they made this media propaganda cycle of all these tech whiz kids that are Bill Gates' children to then say, now the space is safe. And you're going to see the same thing in marijuana, maybe in 20 years when they pass it federally. Then you're going to have some good faces that are good business people that pushes the cannabis market forward. And if we hit a recession, that may be one of the sectors they're going to have to speed track to doing better, because we are not, as a country, producing enough good companies.
Mm.
So for all of you watching, that's why I say in a recession, one of you watching could make the next company in 10 years that is worth $50 billion. If you look at it, Twitter provides no real value. It's not worth anything to the average advertiser. It's worth nothing. Snap, more valuable. TikTok, more valuable. Facebook, Instagram, more valuable. LinkedIn, more valuable. America is not creating enough great companies. And that's part of the reason we are in this slump that we're in right now.
Well, anything you want to say about Disney?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm still long on Disney for a number of reasons. And when we talk about assets under their management, obviously from an entertainment standpoint, we know what they have as far as the movie production, and we know Disney Plus. Now it'll be interesting to see how much they rely on Disney Plus going forward. I know they've already had the infrastructure to build internationally. Like we were in France, Disney Plus is big there, right? Because they have a Paris Disneyland, so it makes sense for it to be big there. But they opened Disney Plus in 26 countries outside of America, so that's happened. You know, cruises haven't gone back up to the way they used to be. But one of those things that, and it kind of, people just kind of forget, but is licensing. Like, think about the money and the revenue they bring in from licensing, whether it be the content or it be the characters. Like, think about how many companies, or how many times you go in a store and you see a Disney character. They're being licensed throughout a number of retail spaces. I mean, even like, and I'll bring Gucci up, but you can look at Gucci. They have Donald Duck sneakers. Like, that licensing money is something that gets overlooked a lot of times. And so I know that that's not going anywhere, because those characters are legacy characters and we'll see them for a lifetime. And so I still love it long term.
All right. There you have it.
I clip this up, $80.
$80. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. $80.
That somebody said that's awful. That's Tiny Toons.
And
right?
Roku is dead.
I won't say dead, but they're
Not
going to be in
dead.
trouble. Yeah.
They're in trouble.
Yeah.
They're a victim of what's happening with Netflix.
Yeah, because they don't have enough to acquire original content, and then
Right.
it's not. I think it's a better platform, but they're undercapitalized. They're like Raucous Records back in the day, like dope talent. They didn't have the big Def Jam, Death Row, Interscope budgets. So now you're in a place where it's like the content isn't so unique that people have to be there, kind of like Paramount Plus or Peacock even.
Yeah, Peacock, Hulu.
Yeah, Hulu. Like, there's nothing that's so unique there.
Yeah, I couldn't. If I asked I couldn't tell you, like, hey, why would you subscribe to Roku? Like, what's the original content that brings you there? There's not really an answer.
That's why I always go to competitor, and not for all my entrepreneurs. The book that you have to read, the one thing. What is the one thing that you're going to do on earth that nobody else can do that will sustain? And that formula is what gives you a moat. For me, it's to know the price of everything on earth. So, like, if salt is mined from West Africa and temperatures where it's 72 to 83 degrees, I know the ideal price to buy. What is that for Roku? Nothing. You have to know what your competitive advantage is. Yeah. Great platform. It's just, there's no reason to be there.
I'm glad you brought up Africa. I think that's going to be a key area, a key part of the world when it comes to streaming. Because we know the population growth, and we know the age percentage of the population that's there now. And so if somebody, and I'm sure there's plenty of companies that are out there now just building and trying to get the infrastructure. It's going to be a key continent when it comes to streaming in the future. So we'll see Alibaba. Who leads there.
I'm going to put my bid in for Alibaba.
Like the Alibaba Prime. Yeah.
Yep.
I can see that.
Yep.
Bitcoin.
Oh, remember that?
5%. 5%. The mighty Bitcoin.
Let's see where we at right now. I think it's at like 40,000. Did it get to 40,000? Or was it under 40?
But even when people were talking about it, and a couple people text me, I'm like, it's not even that bad of a drop for crypto. But since all assets are technically tied together because of the institutions, I can see why people have. So it's at 40,550. I don't think there's anything to be worried about. But if I did hear today on CNBC earlier, so an analyst said that we're going to drop to 29,000. I'm like, where have I heard that before? If it touches that range, it's only going to stay there for maybe 2 or 3 days maximum. And actually, the funny part is, this is the 1-year anniversary of Mike Novogratz being on the show when I first made that crazy call. So kudos to Mike. If we get there, you guys can load the boat. Kudos to you who came up to me Sunday, like, man, I made a killing off that one. 29,000, 34,000 are good places to hold, but a good place to know also if the market is going to go back up is the price of Bitcoin. It is not the decentralized property or asset that everyone thought that it was, but it also does give you a signal in real time a lot faster for my snipers. Kind of like how, like, if when the NASDAQ future moves, you kind of know where the market is going to go. If you begin to look at Bitcoin every morning, it'll give you a feeling for where the market is going to go for the day. So that is a like investing hack you can use now to know what the S&P 500 and Dow is going to do based on the sentiment what Bitcoin is currently doing.
There you have it.
The all reliable.
The almighty Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Stocks to help during a recession.
I want to give a couple out, and then I want you guys to chime in as well. But so if we get deep into the recession, the one I've talked about before, Target, we talked about Dollar Tree before, Dollar General, Walmart, and AON is another ticker. Those are 4. Also Costco, we talked about those. But during a recession, people have less to spend. Those are safe havens that people have gone to spend. And then historically during recessions, those brands have done incredibly well. Like Walmart is on a pretty decent tear, as well as Target and Dollar Tree and Dollar General. So well-run businesses. They're not the sexiest businesses on earth. Better than Neo, all of them. But those are ones I would lean on if I needed to, like, make sure I got gains in a recession. Those are some I lean on. So Target, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Walmart, and AON.
Yeah, I it's great. I mean, those are 5 or 6 that you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
And it brings up the point, like when on Saturday I was talking about some companies just have an advantage, and those companies right there, they have the low cost advantage.
Yeah.
Right. And so they have so many stores that they can give you the product at a discounted price that somebody can't compete with. And especially in times of inflation, if the prices are going up in other stores and they're determined to have low costs, that's to your advantage. And so if more people shop at those stores, then more revenue is brought into those stores, which obviously will hope in turn see the stock price go up. So those are 6 that you need to have in your bucket list or your watch list, especially at these times, because they have a distinct advantage over everybody else. Low cost.
Consumer discretion.
XO what?
Oh, that's the consumer discretionary ETF.
Yeah. I was just saying in general.
Just in
Oh
general.
yeah. Fact.
Okay. How does the moon phases affect the stock market?
I gave this.
I gave this one away Saturday, so everybody who's at the show, please don't kill me. I will say this: the market has a higher tendency to drop 3 days before the full moon and on the days of the full moon. This applies to crypto as well, and then the days in which the new moon is beginning to appear, the stocks are at its highest. So I want you guys to go in a longer homework assignment. I want you guys to go back for the last 20 moon cycles, because last year talked a lot about pyramids, gave all those gems away. Moon cycle. So when you have a full moon, you have a higher probability of the market dropping or sliding down. So for my traders, you can use it. Look at macro time frames though. Look at minimum the week chart. Don't look at that 1 hour. Look at the week or higher. And then when we go into a new moon cycle 3 days before and into the new moon, the market tends to go up a little bit more on average. You still want to do this for quality. To quality stocks, quality crypto. I don't want you to pick the 99th best penny stock Tim Sykes gave you. Shout out Tim Sykes, but don't do that because it's not going to work. Don't find like a weed company in Australia that's trading at 1 penny, right? Find the top 15 quality either in stocks or crypto, and then you can use that to know when you can get into the market, because astrology does have an impact or effect on the market, and use these all together in your toolbox as well. So, and for my people in healthcare, especially nurses, Please put yes in chat. If on full moon days, do patients act crazier? The same thing happens in the market. My firefighters, police, like, when the full moon happens, it's wild.
We used to say that like in my school, like if the kids were just a little bit like had a little bit more energy, they're like, yo, it must be a full moon outside.
Must be.
Yep. It must be. Like, I'm like, nah, that's just the frosted flakes, yo. Stop playing.
So my style attract millions like the moon attracts sea. Prodigy. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
But if it does have an effect on, so for my Christians, if you think, and my thing has always been, if God made the sun, moon, and the stars, why don't we use the things that he made to our advantage if we are his children? So some people like, man, I don't believe that. That's crazy. But when you go look, especially for those who are already doing it in crypto, you see the correlations. They're clear as day. If you find a little moon, full moon, new moon indicator, which should be really easy, especially if you're on TradingView, man, you'll see clear as day. Those patterns are there. So some people trade it on an institutional level, some on a retail level. The patterns are there. You'll be, look at homework, look at the top 5 crypto, top 5 stocks over the last 5 years and see how many days out of those 5 years that correlation has happened. You'll be surprised. That's why I say investing is not hard. And I've talked to a bunch of people, maybe 100 people. And I appreciate the transparency. It's like, man, you get a blueprint. I just don't execute it, or I'm fearful. And I want to tell all of you, you are worthy of freedom, joy, love, success, and having it at the same time. They skin glowing like crazy, and they work hard as hell. You would think they only work 1 hour a day. Them boys be sleeping 2 hours a day, right? So you can be beautiful, peaceful, full of wealth, have your friends. For those of you that are black and brown, remain black and brown and not have to change how you act, right? But use all the tools that you have in your tool belt to create the freedom that you want. And I need everybody to put in chat, I deserve to be wealthy. Because the number one thing that is stopping you from getting to where you want to be is someone around you or telling you in your subconscious, you don't deserve that. You don't need that. You do. I want you to have it. We want you to have it. And if I made you money, please put yes in chat.
Yes.
Yo, man, I was about to say, if we go a show without you doing it, man.
Study astrology and you'll be good. 7,700 people on YouTube. Hit the like button and share. Let's get this up to 8,000.
Appreciate y'all.
A clean 8,000 would be beneficial.
And you referenced the earnings this week. Is a big week, and so we'll just go through a couple of companies that are going to be reporting. I mean, they are obviously the major players in the market. So this earnings report is brought to you by Market Mondays, the number one investment show in the world. Key word is the world. All right. So Tuesday, tomorrow, we got Chipotle reporting, we got Google reporting, we got Microsoft reporting, we got 3M reporting, and we got Visa. All majors, big majors, mega caps. Wednesday, we got Meta, formerly Facebook, PayPal, Ford, ServiceNow, Qualcomm, and that semiconductor space. Thursday, we have Twitter, which we mentioned earlier. Deal got done on Monday. Earnings report is done on Thursday. And I think they canceled the call. Usually they have the call after they report their earnings. The call has been pushed back or canceled for this earnings report.
Listen to that. They canceled a call and no one killed Elon or any of. No, go ahead.
Shout out to the Black
Stock Club call tonight, 9:30. I'll be there. Don't worry.
Apple will be reporting on Thursday as well as one of my favorites, as y'all know, Amazon will be reporting. Robinhood will be reporting. Eli Lilly will be reporting as well, and MasterCard. And then Friday we got the legendary gas tycoons. Exxon will be reporting as well as Chevron. And there's a bunch of others, but these are just some that we frequently mention on Market Mondays. And so if you're interested in watching earnings and investing up until earnings, feel free. We're just giving you who's going to be reporting, y'all.
And do not play earnings for my traders. I know it's exciting, it's exhilarating. I know some of you going to trade this. But man, fucking, I told him I got you. Wait, this quarterly earnings, please wait. Lilly, Google, Apple, Visa. If 3 out of these 4 is bad,
we in trouble.
Remember, like when they start wrapping stuff up in the Titanic. We may come on like Wednesday night and be like, hey, listen, man, this pool. Maybe time to pray collectively. So Apple should be great. Lilly should be great. Google should be great. But if 3 out of those 4 go bad and the stock goes down, it's going to be bad.
It's going to be a special edition.
We'll get on. Visa, have some trouble. That's some trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually interested. I looked at some of the numbers for Apple and Amazon, and so we'll see. We'll see what happens on Thursday.
It really may come down to like 5 companies in the United States are going to be profitable, and like the rest of them are just going to be slowly. They're going to have to even redo the same thing. Facebook, it'll be interesting to see their numbers, but I don't think it's going to be. Well, I don't think the stock will do great as a result.
Yeah, and then obviously Netflix probably won't even be part of the acronym anymore. So
Facebook should acquire Netflix if we keep the. If I was Zuckerberg, that I couldn't get TikTok, boy. Let me go get Netflix. Zuckerberg, I'm gonna do the Boosie. Zuckerberger, call me. I'm telling you, the acquisition that could save Facebook. They get Netflix, and then you take that user base. You can keep the cost basis down per user because now you already have 92 billion people on the planet. They, even people that's not born yet, they had their profiles up, right? Be
cool,
careful
3
with
billion
your data. It would be a nice revenue bump to Facebook. It will give them more time to figure out Meta. You don't have to be so dependent on social media because no other social media, even with that, why didn't they let Facebook acquire Twitter? Of course, they said because of monopoly issues. They already have a monopoly. Netflix could be the acquisition.
Yeah.
That
And they have original
Facebook
content as well. Yeah, 3 billion subscribers.
I don't want to see Red Table Talk on Netflix, but Will, don't go back on, brother. I love you. Listen, I'm tired. Listen, and listen, how come Mike Tyson punched that dude, but then Will slapped Chris and everybody was like, yo, he wrong?
Shout out to Mike Tyson.
No,
man.
two different situations.
Shout out to Mike
Tell me
Tyson,
the difference,
man.
my brother. I'm trying to learn to be better.
Will Smith, that was the Oscars in front of millions of people, and Chris Rock was a host and he's telling a joke. Mike Tyson was getting provoked by a drunk guy on a plane, a random person that was just literally 2 feet away from him, just provoking him in his air.
Gotcha.
And so I don't think that's comparable.
Okay. I'm doing apples and grapefruits. I
got shout out to the baby with a 360.
Oh, why are you shouting that out, man?
Wait, what? Because this is way
the baby is living up to the name.
You see that when he punched his artist, he did a 360. He walked past his artist and did like a 360.
He wasn't provoked. What are the rules?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that since like Street Fighter.
The baby, this guy, he's really
Ryu did a punch.
He's
like
undefeated.
That. He's really living it.
Yeah,
he's one of these rappers that's actually.
Listen, if you know he was outside, he wasn't nothing to play with.
He's actually living it.
Yeah.
Oh man! First it was the bowling alley.
That was crazy. The bowling alley incident was different.
Man. Sheesh! I'm like the baby.
Conflict resolution, man. We just spoke about this.
Stretched.
Conflict resolution.
Yes, that is so needed in our community.
Before we go to questions, can we talk about 3 takeaways from this weekend?
You start. First one.
Definitely the power of being in the building. I saw a bunch of people that I knew that told me that they met other people for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know a good story about that? And this is on a higher level. Slim Thug. So Slim Thug, obviously, you know, he's one of the dopest musical artists to ever come out of Houston, but he's also big in real estate. He develops homes and he's really, getting into real estate. He had been hearing about Chris Senegal for a long time, but he never actually met him. And the first time that he actually met him was at Market Mondays, and they met, exchanged information. Then the next day, at Chapman, shout out to everybody that was in Chapman's, they got to kick it again. They spoke for like 20 minutes. So I asked him, like, Chris? He's like, nah, I always heard about him, but I definitely want to link. So yeah, that was actually a really dope situation because we was able to make that happen. And I'm sure that they'll be doing a bunch of different projects together and working together. And at the very least, they'll be able to just
get like a little accelerator fee or something.
Yeah. Yes. I hope they remember us when they take over the city for sure.
2%,
So yeah, that's always dope. It's like you can't get that interaction online. It's always that face-to-face interaction is always the most beneficial.
I think mine is the power of impact. You just never know, and we ran into a lot of people who had just some like amazing stories. I know one that stuck out to me because it was pretty emotional. A woman had approached myself and Rashad and was telling me about a loss that she had in her family and how she was just really in a depressed state, and got a text that Market Mondays is coming on, and it it empowered her. Just listen to us talk every week for her to get back up on her feet, believe in herself, begin investing, um, and just she just had to come tell us and had to make it to Houston to see us to make it happen. And so, I mean, those type of stories are always heartwarming. Um, it's completely like the humility that it takes to do that, because she didn't have to. But I walked away just like, wow, like you never really know who you're impacting or how one word or something that you might have said can impact someone. So mine was the power of impact. And again, seeing 2,600 people, I mean, we don't take that for granted, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we're never gonna take that for granted. To see that many people be in attendance with their iPhones out, a little joke, taking notes, and just walking away. And even when we got pulled away because they were closing the curtains and they trying to get us out of there. The fact that people were still calling out to, I just want to tell you one word, and I want to show you my business card. I want to tell you about this thing I'm doing. It was just extremely encouraging. And so I always tell people, they always like, yo, man, weren't you a gym teacher? I'm like, yeah, I impacted a school district, but in this avenue, I can impact the world. So always go where you have the greatest impact. So that would be my biggest takeaway: the power of impact.
For me, the power of enthusiasm. Shout out to everybody on the top row. Like that, I haven't felt like that like whether I was on stage or in the audience, but the energy that they had, like I wish we could have just had 2 hours with them because they were so hungry. And then even the friendships, and some of them messaged me that night. Some of them just went to the parking lot and was just exchanging information and notes. Shout out to the brother. He took notes on every episode of Market Mondays. It looked like he brought up the Dead Sea Scrolls. I was like, bruh, let me buy that book off you, please. So the power of enthusiasm. I got the power of impact. Like I put this on my story yesterday, but 2013, when I was living in Colorado, I was playing Mark Douglas videos every day. For anyone, if you feel like you've been left behind, left out, the power of manifestation is real. So the probability, we was talking about this today, the probability of a person of my color, our color, if you told them in 2013, it would be 3 Black dudes. And now with the Red Pandas and Earners, we will be able to amass Black and brown people to learn about the market at scale. It would have probably been the highest rated business idea to ever fail in history. So to look back to see where we were and praying for these things and hoping to have a great partnership and avenue to be able to do this, for all of you that have dreams, when this was like the craziest idea, say this every night in the mirror 10 times. Whatever your number one dream is, and if you're a believer in God, pray upon it. I'm telling you, he'll give it to you. And listen, Steve Harvey said he's not done with me yet. I have a lot of improving to do. But when I walked out on stage, I told Ashley, I was like, I don't even deserve this. She's like, baby, yes, you do. Like, go out here, shut up, go kill this. Because the stadium was so, like, Apollo was huge, but this stadium was huge.
Yeah.
And to see it fill up so fast, and I told him in the dressing room, I'm like, man, turn the TV off. I'm gonna get nervous. Like I was like, because I was just in awe of how many people chose to show up. And then third, a lady yesterday at the meetup said, hey, you know what we should do? And I know it's too late, but we should have the culture by Twitter. And I was like, I said what I said on Saturday. And I didn't know it was going to happen Monday. I thought it would happen next week. But at one of these events, man, if Netflix got to $99, I would love for everybody at Market Mondays to amass some money and buy Netflix. Like the power of what we can do together when we move as a unit. You guys think 300 was powerful. They lost. Any war, if we team together, I know we'll win. Even if it's one brand that we start out with and we buy, I think there's so much power and energy in that room that we can collectively build something absolutely incredible. So, but shout out to everybody in the top row. But for those of you that have big dreams, big aspirations, you've seen these guys do it. They tell you started with an iPhone, the power of just executing. Even on the entertainment side, I was talking to somebody at Interscope, and I'm like, hey, why do you guys think that Snoop continued to do so well and still be here, go to Def Jam? There was like Same thing, Shotty. Power, consistency. Doesn't miss shows. Every feature that he gets paid to do, he does it. A lot of people fall by the wayside just by not showing up. Because people was asking, hey, y'all doing Market Mondays on Monday? I'm like, yeah, it's Monday. Saturday was a show. You have to be here. You guys saw him. My man was sounding like Doc Rivers last week. Rondo. Like, he was still here, showing up, showing out. Kudos to you put on the show. The first 3 questions Jenna asked you, I'm like, Shawty going for 80. So show up, be consistent. There is no competition other than you're executing. Please put that in chat. There is no, because so many companies need help in every area. Whatever you do, there's a company that needs your help. We talked about this with Chris. Chris is one of the most reliable people. Kudos to you for handling all my TikTok. Never have to talk to Chris. I know if he doesn't post, man, my boy went to heaven. You want to be so reliable. And there are companies that'll pay you guys tens of millions to do what you are good at and the talent that God gave you just for showing up and being consistent there. So I had an amazing event and I'm honored. Thank you guys so much.
Top road game. They might be a new thing, the top road game.
Yeah, that energy was amazing.
Yeah.
Hey.
I was trying to figure out how we
can we do something just for them? Like I want to do a meetup.
I was trying to go up there. I asked Ashley.
Ashley was not having it.
He said, no, you cannot go up there.
Ashley would have killed me. I wasn't even supposed to go in the front. Baby, they couldn't see you because the light. I know I lied. I'm sorry. I said I wasn't gonna go. I had to get the money out though. So yeah, I want to do something for the people on top row. Can we for real do a meetup for? I pay for all. Like that energy though. That felt like Rough Riders in the night. Like when X first came out, boy, it felt like that.
It was amazing.
Yeah, we got to do something.
Amazing to be a part of it, man. Extremely humbling.
Shout out Top Row Mafia. I love y'all.
Very entertaining and very educational at the same time. Edutainment. Janet.
Jan's got a plan. Shout out to Jan for touching that stage.
Shout out to Janet.
Shout out to Magda.
Janet earlier too.
Hello. I know I randomly I ran into Ian today. I was supposed to go to Snooze on another part of town. The Uber brought me to one that Ian was at. That was really funny. So,
okay.
In Dallas. We were in Dallas.
Oh, my bad.
Listen, they was hounding you. Listen, if y'all know, I'm not connecting nobody to Janet unless I know you an amazing man. Quit asking. That's sis. Yo, King.
I appreciate that.
Listen, you gotta be quality. That's my sister. Come on now. Boy.
Janet, what's going on? How are you?
I'm good. I had an amazing weekend, as you guys know. Shout out to all the earners. I definitely teared up a couple of times. I don't know what's happening. I don't normally cry so much, but it was so touching, like hearing everyone's stories and, you know, seeing everyone and hearing, shout out to Andre Berard and his whole team, Ashley Green, Diamond, and even his son Chase, just hearing how everyone met each other through EYL University was just really beautiful. And then I went to grab a bite to eat before, you know, Market Monday started, and I'm sitting there and someone came up to me and was like, "Are you Janet? Oh my God." And he flew here from Boston. I wrote his name down now. Stu flew
what up?
from Boston on his own just to be in the room. And he was saying how amazing it was. So it was a great weekend.
Yeah. Shout out to my King Arthur. King Arthur was in attendance too.
My guy.
King Arthur.
He got some of the best. Can we get him on next week? Like his energy is so.
King Arthur is an incredible dude, man.
Yeah.
This is
a great brother.
Dude.
Oh, shout out to the EYL Wives Club. Danielle and Tony, they're such a vibe. It was a great time.
Listen.
You want to hear something funny? So I'm standing there talking to some people, and this gentleman is like, "Hey, he asked my wife, like, are you in line to take a picture with Troy? Because I was here before you." He was like, "Nah, go ahead. You got it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, shout out to them. They be older than that.
Shout out to the bottom row too. The people that was on the bottom row.
They was
gave a lot of
y'all had
energy was
too.
there.
Yeah,
energy was there. The middle.
Some of y'all been drinking too. Y'all was repeating the same questions. I'm like, hey, that brown
definitely had the bar open outside.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
Shout out to Magda, my assistant. She's been amazing.
Y'all was outside. Hey, Janet had the shades on. I know when Janet got the shades on, she's outside.
All right, let's continue.
Hold on. It's Arthur's birthday.
Yes,
birthday. Happy birthday to Arthur.
Yeah, they put it in.
Yeah. Shout out to his birthday it's tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow.
No, it's today.
Today? Oh, happy birthday to my brother, man.
Happy birthday. King
Happy
Arthur.
birthday, brother.
I learned something. Anytime I speak to him, I learn something. It's like that's very rare. Like you could just have a passive conversation, and every time I speak to him, I'm going to take something away. He always has a new business idea, and I can't even talk about the one we spoke about on Saturday. But I mean, just a wealth of knowledge and a depth, like just a resource, like a sponge. Like
and knows
he's incredible,
everything.
man. Shout out to my brother. Happy
I
birthday,
dap him up and just listen. Like, please talk. Poor, yeah.
Exactly.
Brilliant mind.
And
you guys look like twins, by the way, Troy and Rashada.
he's the older twin then.
Who, me? I'm my older twin.
I know.
Let's get
what we got, Jan. Let's see.
You have mastered the humble flex, boy. When I get that down to my package, boy, I don't got that in my layer package. But when I get it, boy.
All right, so let's go to the first question. Comes from Lacey. Unmute yourself, please. You're coming to you.
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you guys for allowing me to ask the question. So my question is, after the Google or Amazon split, how long should you wait to purchase? Should you treat it like an IPO and wait to see if the price drops lower, or should you just try to jump in right away?
That is a great question. Google and Amazon are rare exceptions because of them being a top 5 business. You can do it maybe 5 days after. Of course, when they actually split, I'll come on here and call the price for everybody. But historically, if they're a top 5 business, I wouldn't wait if you're looking to hold it for a long period of time, because the interest is going to be so high, and the buying you may not get the full 30 days, 60 days, 6 months to be able to buy in. If it wasn't a top 5 company, I would wait and treat it like IPO for sure. But I'll come on here and definitely call the price post split.
Okay,
it's an amazing
perfect.
question.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're approaching both, correct? Like I know one is in May and then others in August.
Yeah.
So we're getting close.
And those Invest babies should be coming out in May too. So kudos to all of you that have babies from InvestFest. I love y'all.
My gosh.
Due dates have arrived.
All right, Jonathan. Jonathan Reynolds, unmute yourself, please.
Y'all hear me?
Yep. Yeah, what's going on, John?
Yeah, how are you?
Cool. Yeah, I'm good. I appreciate y'all as always. And definitely I want to just kind of definitely double down on what you said about the whole manifestation is real. That's definitely a thing for sure. For sure. I wish I could have made it out to Market Mondays live, but I'm gonna definitely make sure to make it out to the next one if I can.
Thank you, family. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
But yeah, my question is just more so about the fact that like last couple of weeks we've been in it's been like a nice little losing streak going on in the market. So I'm wondering then, would you say that with this week, you kind of touched on Detroit as well, kind of all the big players happening this week in terms of the earnings, would you say that this week would be more of a big catalyst for the market to make a turnaround this week, or more of the same coming down the line?
I wouldn't say.
No, go ahead, Trey. I was going to say, I think you touched on it, right? If some of these major mega cap companies, if the reports don't come back with positive future guidance, it might not be a catalyst that we're looking at. It might be like, hey, we're headed toward more of a downturn. And so that prediction that JP Morgan said about the S&P going into a bear market, we might see that happen sooner than we think. So we got to just be, and that's why we talk about the earnings, is like pay attention to these things, right? See and we went over what earnings per share was. And so all these things that you kind of hear, but you don't know what they are, all these things are pieces that add to the puzzle to say, all right, where are we about to be headed?
And I don't want you to look at it as a losing streak. On the long-term investment side, I want you to look at it as an opportunity to get the best companies at a cheaper price. On a trading perspective, I told you guys Saturday, I'll try and keep my joy down a little bit. When the market is falling, man, I am elated. You should look at it as an opportunity. No, say it again.
I'm side and I'm in Red Panda. I'm waiting on my prices to hit, and I'll be hitting those puts on those short-term puts. I'm right there. I'm waiting.
Yeah, listen, can you guys hear the joy in his voice? He's cooking. So I will wait. Normally, I don't care about earnings. Visa, I'm expecting Visa not to do well. Google, Apple, Microsoft, I expect them to do well. If any of those three go negative, I know we are in trouble. So then what do? Great. When you see your long-term investment account go down, cry like Trey from Boys in the Hood, Let it out. It's okay. Swing at the air, right? Let the little thug. Anybody who's lost a trade or an investment, that thug tear come out the corner of your eye, and you get to praying real heavy, right? Have to hold on. Then on the trading side, you want to pick less. So it may be in a quarter. If you normally did 15 trades, you may want to do 3, but the 3 that you hit are going to be huge targets, and that will hold you over. And most people are not able to hold long term because they don't know how to trade. Most traders don't do well because they don't long-term invest. So I was talking about this earlier. Buffett got an insurance company, took capital, put it in investing, took capital from that, put it in real estate. You never hear the richest people in the world argue about which assets to use. They use them all. In our community, they'll split us up and say, hey, real estate here. That's why Market Mondays is here. Branson Gyms, like you have to put all assets in your favor so you're not down. So you keep your eyes on earnings for sure. This week, if Apple, Microsoft, or Google falls apart, it's not going to be good, but the S&P is going to take a little bit of time, maybe 5 more weeks before we start to go up, but this quarter won't be good.
Yeah. And you know what, Jonathan, and everybody that's listening, estimize.com. If you type in those companies, use estimize.com, you can kind of see what Wall Street is predicting for some of these mega cap companies, and you'll see what the target is, right? And so if they miss that number, you'll know because it'll be breaking news on all these news outlets. And if they go over it, great, you'll hear it again. But if you want to know in advance, that's a great tool that I use, estimize.com, so I can kind of see what's Wall Street thinking. What are analysts thinking? Yeah, estimize.com. Yeah, .com.
Okay. And also companies who run their business on a quarter-to-quarter decision-making basis often give lower returns than those who focus on year-over-year growth. I think one of the biggest mistakes in the stock market is to have companies focus on quarterly growth. It's just that companies who try to play that game, notice the ones who don't. Google, Microsoft, Tesla, Lilly, they don't focus on caring what analysts have to say. If you build a great product, like you don't see trying to shop like, yo, we're gonna get the different colorways because the breads are coming out. And for this quarter, focus on long-term horizon. The merch will move itself, stock club will move itself, return, like focus on companies that give good guidance year over year and decade over decade. When I hear a company talking about Q4 versus 2028, it never ends well. Netflix played their quarterly estimate game, and now they're about to have to play the Undertaker music in a second. So I'm proud of you, family. You're doing great.
Thank you. Janet, let's get a few more before we wrap.
All right. Dion, unmute yourself, please. We are coming to you.
Hey, good night, guys.
Good evening.
What's going on?
Hello.
Hey, how are you? What's up?
I want to say blessings to all of you guys and your family. Want to continue to pray for you guys. Thank you for all the great work you guys been doing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What island? What island you from?
British Virgin Islands.
Okay.
Can we come visit?
Just a little backstory. Me and my family moved here because our home was totally destroyed by Hurricane Irma in 2017. We almost didn't make it through, but by the grace of God, we're here, and we had to start fresh. So right now, we're just trying to build wealth, build ourselves up to a point that we could eventually move back to the island. One of the ladies asked a question I wanted to ask, which was buying price on all these nice companies that's gonna split. As Ian said, he's gonna tell us the strike price on those. And one stock that we're looking at to buy right now is Waste Management. What do you guys think a good price would be for Waste Management?
I know Wall Street Trapper, I just spoke about Waste Management in the latest episode that we put out.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget the name of the company, but literally the last question I asked him was what we should be looking in the future. And the key thing that he said, obviously he had just him 500 obviously have Asset Island, and so Wasteland was one of the things he spoke about. And the company slips my name, but it's definitely in the episode from last week.
So any price points for waste management, Ian?
$136.38, $136.38 is a great price to get it in waste management. How much do you need to get back to your home?
Man, listen. If I don't know if you guys ever been to like the U.S. Virgin Islands or anything like that, but like, say for instance, if I buy a house here for 500,000, that same house will cost me maybe 1.5 home.
Yeah, we went to Virgin Islands. Troy, you got
married
there.
there. Yeah, I got married in St. Thomas.
St. Thomas.
Oh yeah, St.
Yeah,
Thomas
yeah.
is like a half an hour away from the British Virgin Islands.
Yep, and it's interesting. We most people obviously we spoke about it. It was my 10-year anniversary 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to go back to the original place that we got married, but the same hurricane destroyed the hotel, and so it wasn't an option. So, yeah.
What can we do immediately to help you? We may not be able to help raise the 1.5 tonight, but is there an amount that you would need that will be able to bless you and your family?
Anything could help. Tell you the honest truth. I see you posted a question on Twitter, like with income, and I posted 100 bands, and you said, "Man, you deserve more." That really touched my heart because trust me, we just trying to make it, but we just trying.
What's your cash app?
Oh, jeez.
If you guys, so this is what I'm gonna do. If you guys help him raise 25 grand tonight, I'll come on here next week and give prices for 25 stocks.
Wow.
So, what is your cash app?
MUCK 284. That's it. MUCK 284.
I want y'all.
We're in Red Panda and we're in UAL. So we just fighting.
Send me a message in Telegram too. Donations. I'll do my part. Red Panda family. Everyone who watches and support Market Mondays, and to anyone that's ever felt like, and this is the disheartening part about going through devastation and being broke, you feel like no one cares if you get out of your misery. If you've ever been there and you wish, God, please send somebody to help me, I need you to be one of the angels to help him tonight.
Hey, Dion, I already started, so you should have got a message just now.
Yeah, so I just pinned it in YouTube. So I think it's $MUCK 284.
Yeah,
okay,
284 is our area code for the British Virgin Islands.
Okay.
So everything I do is 284.
All right, turn your notifications on.
I pinned it in YouTube, and yeah, you know, if it's always a blessing to be a blessing. So
yeah,
if you can help,
Hey, thank you guys, man. Hey, Janet, shout out to you too. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you, you guys, for everything. And as I said, may God continue to watch over you guys, man.
Yeah, Dion, we're gonna check back in with you. I'm gonna send you an email later in the week to see where we're at.
Okay.
And hopefully, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get to it though. I'm pretty sure. I know this community, so
I need everybody who can send him 250. If I've blessed you, helped you, from this weekend. Yo, Ian, what can I do to help you, King? Send him 250. The more seeds you plant, in order to be a blessing, you have to give first. For all my Christians, if you dig deep through Proverbs, everything you need to do financially, because it's funny, people that are more secular. So if you hear the stories of John D. Rockefeller and James Pierpont Morgan walking the streets and literally handing out dollar bills, these were non-Christians giving out money, but using biblical principles to have blessings come back into their life. There's a reason why Troy has as much joy. He doesn't do any of the craziness that I do. I'm like, Troy, the tornado hit. It's all good. God wanted the tornado to be there, brother. We good? I'm like, damn, I'm learning. Janet, same way. I've never seen Janet mad. That's radiance. Queen like
Don't
essence.
ask Magda. That's Magda about that. I'm joking.
Bless him, please. Bless him.
There you
That
have
was
it.
amazing.
Blessing to be a blessing. Jenna, let's get one more question in before we conclude.
Alyssa, I am coming to you. Unmute yourself, please.
Hey, thanks, Janet. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we
Yes, how are you?
All right. A quick question. I just joined DYL University last week, so I've been going to sleep like 2 every morning, going through watching videos, reading stuff, making myself crazy.
Yes.
And hear the
Learning a
energy,
lot.
too.
Super excited to be here. So I have a question for you. I have a bonus check coming up, and I'm trying to decide. And I always just get this confused because I feel like I don't ever get a clear answer. But do I use that money to go towards my emergency fund, or do I use that to invest in the market?
Emergency fund if you don't have one established yet.
Okay.
And trust me, if you think that you're missing out, the market's going to fall a lot more. You're going to see some people have to dig into their emergencies by buying at bad prices. I don't want you to be one of them. When the market gets to a bottom, trust me, I'll be the first to call. I did here in 2020. We're not there yet. Emergency first.
Sounds good. Fair enough. Thank you so much, Ian.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa.
And kudos to you for studying it. Here's
Yeah.
when people apply, you can hear the energy when you guys are doing the research and studying. Oh my God. I love that. Don't lose that.
Yeah, there's nothing like learning something new for the first, like, it's a different feeling. It's like, all right, now I gotta go find something else to learn.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That is
Shout out to
a fact.
y'all.
Shout out to y'all. Kyrie, hold your head. KD, hold
Yo,
your
shout out to
head.
the city of Boston. I really
Wait,
never
what
say
happened?
that. Nah,
They
man.
got swept.
We from
Brooklyn Nets.
yeah,
Brooklyn
man.
Nets got
They
swept.
came to Brooklyn and
4-0. Wrapped it up tonight.
next stop Cancun for the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, just now. They just got swept.
It came on my iPad, my phone. Damn, couldn't get one.
I should have known when I saw they threw Blake out there. He was playing hard defense. I'm like, it must have been danger. I ain't seen him play
Desperate
hard.
times
I'm
calls
like,
for desperate
damn.
measures, man.
Yeah.
Damn,
My
we let
goodness.
the city of Boston got us again, man. Tough day.
That's because you guys never come to New England, so that's what you get.
You know,
Boston.
it's revenge, sweet revenge.
Yeah, that was,
Steve
that was-
Nash is that coach, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Steve
yeah.
Nash.
Brooklyn needs the Elon. Get Steve out of here. Steve, I love you as a player. Coach, boy, you like I'm calling the plays. Run
Yeah.
flex.
It's not working. It's not working out for Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving, I mean, not really too much more that he can do.
He didn't have a great series, though.
He didn't have a great series.
Nah, first game he was different, and then 10 points, like 16 points. I don't know what he did tonight, but and KD.
What Ben Simmons have on? Because we know he's not playing.
Ben Simmons, man, I think he got $30 million to play no games this year. So, I mean,
Robbery.
Only in America.
I mean, is it robbery? John Wall made 47. He didn't even go to practice. They didn't even allow him to come on the court. Shout out to
Not
Wall.
allowing and choosing not to play is two different things.
47. Different. Yeah. Shout out to the NBA and yeah, shout out to the Brooklyn Nets, man.
Brooklyn Nets.
Cancun, here we come.
Kevin Durant. Questions. Shannon Sharp is going to have some questions.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp.
KD one of the greatest all time. We're not gonna do that.
No, he's
Nah, he is,
definitely,
he is.
definitely
Yeah.
one of the
He
greatest,
is.
but he's just going to have some questions to answer.
Yeah.
Getting swept in the first round to Boston. That's interesting.
By Jason Tatum at that.
Is that better than not even being in the playoffs?
It's equal.
Who you comparing to?
He's
LeBron?
going to
Bro, I mean,
I'm
LeBron
not comparing to anything.
Yeah, he is. He is. I know.
Ron, you know,
That's your
math,
journalist side right there, Ian.
LeBron,
Yeah, I'm not
LeBron,
comparing to
didn't-
anything.
LeBron doesn't have Kyrie Irving on his team.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
I'm not
needed him
gonna,
this
they're both
season.
bad. They both situations are bad. I'll say that.
No, they're not comparable.
But they're bad. They're both bad.
They're not.
You didn't make the playoffs. That's bad.
But there was,
Brooklyn is a
10
prime example of having great assets but bad management, which leads to destruction. Steve Nash needs to go coach AAU for a year and come back and get another coach.
Damn.
Put Mark Jackson there.
Well, Jackson.
And
had
I'm
to
staying
tell
out of
us.
NBA politics too.
Yeah.
But man, if he was there, they would at least been in the Eastern Conference Finals. Hand down, man down. If
going
you
on the
study
record.
every sport on business, I mean every business in the world, you'll see the correlations across. If you go on a record except for what?
We had a healthy debate in Mexico a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
Jason Tatum and KD this debate. I think it's about to be his league. I'm gonna be honest. I think Jason Tatum is the next great superstar of this league.
Hey, he said it like Jason
Yeah.
Tatum is the new KD. Hot take, but I agree.
He's averaging
Can't shoot as well.
Yeah, but he's
But-
averaging about 40 points every time he plays him, which is we can't ignore that. He just scored 40 the other night in Brooklyn, and KD at 16.
And he making it
dropped
look
50
so easy.
He dropped 50 points on him twice, like that.
Jason Tatum will put 40 on you and don't look mad.
And he's 23.
You know how
years old.
frustrating it be?
He's 23, bro. Like,
Kudos to
him.
Kobe.
Shout out to
I hate
Jason
giving
Tatum.
Boston credit, but damn, shout out to him.
Shout out to Jason Tatum. Somebody said, "What's a good exit price for Doge?" Exit, not entry.
I
Exit.
don't- stay
20.
away from
Well,
that.
if you got in at 11 cent, which I told you guys last year, 5 cent, 21 cent is good. If you got in higher, 14 cent is like ideal because there's a lot of institutional money there. Also, if you want to be rich, please go watch every episode of Market Mondays, but the one from last year with Mike Novogratz. Amazing episode on crypto. Please go check it out. Please go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to the
Home
city of
Depot's
Houston one more
amazing.
time.
Oh no,
Yeah.
man, go ahead.
Yeah, no. We got Houston legends up there. So, we're gonna start here with this legend. Shout out to Scarface and the Fix, a 5 mic album. Shout out to him, and then we got a modern day classic, in my opinion. Astro.
You can argue the Diary was 5 mics too.
I
Didn't get
think
the rating,
it
but
might
the
have got
Diary
like
was-
4.5. Yeah. And shout
Diary is so underrated.
Shout out to
I
our
bought
brothers
that
out
at
there.
Mob Deep same weekend.
We got you want to do more? You might recognize some of those brands.
Yeah, beautiful nightmares. 19 keys situation. My bar with Bubs, Rennie, and
Yeah.
Credit Dude.
Yeah. We support our team, man. We support everybody.
Shout out to the Credit Dude. And shout out to Houston. You know, the culture is something that, you know, I always appreciated Houston culture. Obviously, all culture is kind of merged, but that 90s Houston, when they was chopping, screwing their music up and you know, riding Impalas and stuff like that. So it was dope to have Slim Thug and you know, all of that just was something that was just real dope. I was always a big fan of the whole Houston music scene.
Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, that whole vibe. Paul Wall. Shout out to Lil Kiki. I didn't get a chance to link up with him this weekend, but
Yeah.
that whole vibe. Houston always did their own thing and provided.
Swisher
amazing-
House, not Slaughterhouse. That's Joe and Joel.
Yeah. Swisher House.
Swisher
House.
Swisher
Yeah.
House. Thank you.
Swisher
Not
House.
Slaughterhouse, it was Swisher. Yeah.
Swisher
Shout out
House-
to Joe though.
Swisher House,
Swisher House. I'm sorry.
or Swisher Blast. They switched the name,
Yeah.
but
Rap a Lot Records.
yeah, screwed up click.
So also Walker them don't get enough. Like, I'm gonna be real, man. Houston culture influenced a lot of culture and people don't give credit. So also Walker them like it's a lot that
Yeah.
influenced Travis a lot, Drake a lot.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
shout out to the Breakfast Club in Houston. My man Marcus, the owner of the show.
Yeah, shout out Marcus,
Hospitality.
Yeah, it's
a great
Marcus, good
spot. I mean, we talking about guys, and Chris got it all too, but we're talking about when we talk about we own the block and this is our block. These gentlemen are actually really living that. Like they literally own the block. Whether he has a restaurant, a club, and like they own the block. And Chris Senegal, again, like he has real estate where he owns literally the entire block. So some people talk about it, but these guys are actually living it. So shout out to them, man. And they're doing it in Houston, and they're encouraging people, and they're teaching people, and they're mentoring people to do the same, man. It's a beautiful city with beautiful people. I did not get any barbecue this week, but we'll figure something out on how we got to get back to Houston to make that happen. But
Yeah,
I
when
mean,
first-
yeah, I know a guy that here that can transport, you know. I get to put on the plane for you if you need.
when I used to go to prep school in Florida, and that was the first time I had somebody from my team was from Dallas, and this was like in 02, and he was playing. He used to always play like screwed up music, chopped and screwed, and I'm like, it was just so like annoying to me to hear at first, but then I started to develop an appreciation for it because I've never heard any music like that before, and he used to always play it like all the time. And I started to appreciate it more and more. So, yeah.
who is my Jones coming?
Ooh, that's hard. That and the shine you got down.
Yes, yes.
I mean, the great thing about this, everyone's like, and as New Yorkers, you should appreciate it. Like they were so comfortable being them, even on the business side, like what Rapper did, Swish House did, like being stand, like they set the standard for independence.
Fact.
Get enough credit for it.
Yeah, and they played a major part in early like ASAP, the ASAP mob. I thought they was from Houston at first. When I first saw that video, and I'm like, I thought they was from Houston. They're like, no, they from Harlem. I'm like, really? So
Draped up.
Listen, Houston and Chicago don't get enough credit for influence on culture.
Is it Beyonce from Houston?
She absolutely is. She
You can't-
absolutely
Can't
is.
go without
Of course,
saying,
of course,
mentioning
Beyonce.
her. So,
third ward.
Point B.
Shout out to Beyonce. Yeah, Big
Yeah.
B.
so where to next? Where's the next Market Mondays live?
I don't know where y'all want us to go. Put it in chat. Where's the next Market
I'd be
Monday
interested
live
to see.
shit
Let
show?
me let me
we
get
did
on
the
I
that.
can't lie. I
Apollo.
kind of want to hit the Bay. I ain't gonna lie.
LA.
Oh, you want to talk about energy?
Yeah, Oakland is always.
I want to hit the Bay.
I feel like
I think
Los
in
Angeles-
honor of Jan with a Plan.
You want
Are
to do
you-
Rhode Island?
Are you?
You guys gotta come to
Are
New
you
England.
vying for
Come
Rhode
Providence?
on.
Island, boy.
Yeah, where should we
At
go
least
next?
New England. If you're gonna come to Providence, come to New England.
Put
I
in
mean, you guys
chat.
already have the Celtics screen on.
Yo, stop. Why you dragging it right now? We're already dealing with this.
That is funny though. That is.
If you
something
can't
to
beat
do.
them, join them. If you
Yeah.
can't beat them,
Man, got on the
Nice.
Rappaport green.
They got DC, they got Charlotte, New Orleans, Chicago, Dallas.
Listen, when we do Midwest, ooh, movie.
Detroit,
Yeah,
definitely.
we should put a poll up
Chicago.
and see.
Yeah, we should
Yeah.
put a poll up. I feel like my personal choice is probably Los Angeles. I think that makes a lot of sense. That's just my own
but you
personal
guys are
choice.
always there.
LA fam, I'll see y'all Wednesday. Y'all got time to slide Wednesday? Shout out Corey, shout out Murder Beats. Red Panda soundtrack finna be different.
This Wednesday?
This Wednesday?
baby.
You going to LA?
Murder on the beat, so it's not
Murder
nice.
on the
I'm letting
beat,
y'all
so
know
it's
now.
not nice.
Murder, what up? We gonna get to it. Southside, we gonna get to it. Go support future Travis Southside single, Red Panda soundtrack. We about to do something.
Murder on the beat, so it's not.
So it's
nice.
not. I told we ain't come play this year.
Yo, I see a lot of Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Yeah, we haven't been
Charlotte.
Charlotte
North
popping though.
Carolina.
Let's not Charlotte
Yeah,
popping.
another one of those, predominantly black cities that is on the rise.
My
Mhm.
personal vote would be Chicago, Los Angeles,
Mhm.
Oakland, California.
Yeah, I'm you know what? I'm gonna go on.
That would be my top three.
I'm gonna say that the DMV needs a visit. We need to
PMV energy amazing too.
We need
Oh
to pay a
boy.
visit. Yeah, we might have to pay the
Yeah.
DMV. That I see a lot of DC in here. Yeah, I rock with them. I mean, Philly can get there. If you're from Charlotte, you can get there. DMV is not a bad situation. And we
For all
might
my
have-
Chicago people, who's some of the
I mean, you could
hottest?
never go wrong with
We
Atlanta.
always do.
we
Yeah,
always do
Atlanta, yeah.
I'm seeing some.
Yeah.
Toronto, Canada wouldn't be a bad idea.
Nobody put that,
I
but
me-
as soon as they let us,
And
few people put it.
Chubbs,
a lot-
can you get us in? Y'all know somebody OVO?
Drake,
We
Drake.
need that
somebody
presidential
get the sis
escort.
guard in
Drake,
in the
Drake,
chat,
make,
man.
make a call, man. DC,
Goodness.
District of Columbia. All right, well, we will.
I mean, London, isn't it?
I'm about to end this call. You guys are not saying
Yo, stay tuned. Listen, everybody, it is the 25th. How many Monday? Is this the last Monday of the month? I think it is.
Yeah, I think so.
Last Monday of the month. So, man, we went through another month. We are extremely blessed to be here with y'all. Shout out to everybody that has supported Market Mondays for over 2 years. It's been an incredible run, and we not stopping. We gonna keep going. They're like, wait, y'all gonna be live in New York? Yeah, we was in Houston this morning. We here in New York now. We here giving y'all as much information as possible. Hopefully, you were entertained Saturday and you were educated as well as today. So, shout out to y'all. Love is love. Take care of each other. Reach out to someone, please. Text them. Just check in on your people, y'all. Check in on your people. Health is more important. Mental health, physical health is more important than anything. So, love is love.
Yeah, and don't forget John Henry and my dude Buster tomorrow. EYL, big episode. Check it out. Crypto Masterclass on Wednesday on our YouTube channel at 8:00. Check that out. And shout out to the homie Jada. Dope episode on Revolt. Assets over Liabilities TV right now. And then the YouTube comes out Wednesday at 5:00. So check that out as well.
and we have orientation on Thursday for all my new earners. So-
Yes.
Orientation on Thursday.
Yeah. And check out everything on Earn Your Leisure Network. Ransom Gems, new episode We got 19 keys, man.
My
High level
guy.
conversations this
Ash-
Saturday.
Ash
Ash
Cash.
Cash.
19, how you got hit me back? I want to do it while I'm out there. I'm putting it on the
Yeah.
record. I want to do his show.
Oh yeah,
That's gonna be heavy. That's gonna be heavy.
That's a must do. He got one of the hottest shows in America right now,
That's a
man.
fact.
He's
Facts.
going viral. He's going viral every time he talks.
Yeah, and well too. Shout out to Dave. You know,
Absolutely.
shout out to our boy Dave out in Detroit, holding it down for us. Love is love, my guy. Keep killing it, man. Every Sunday, man. People tapped into that. So shout out to Inner Wealth as well.
All right.
Star Club call at 9:30 at Los Angeles. My family pull up, Murder on the Beats.
Oh, what's
telling
nice,
y'all.
nice.
Hey,
All right, y'all.
hit
We
this
out. Be
billboard,
good.
boy.
Guys.
Later.